I was debating on whether or not I should do a best and worst of the Star Trek series dating back all the way to 1979 with the original. Unfortunately, I just don't have the time nor the patience to do such an endeavor, so instead, to celebrate 50 years of Star Trek despite not giving a shit, I'm gonna feud the most recent trilogy right here on Movie Feuds. Got a huge crew here. Captain Kirk, Spock, Sulu, Uhura, Chekhov, Scotty, and Bones, who were once played by legends such as William Shatner and the late Leonard Nimoy. These new actors filled up the roles nicely though, with Chris Pine leading the charge, and Zachary Quinto right at his side. Other actors like Simon Pegg, Zoe Saldana, and Carl Urban really bring their characters to life. This crew works really well together, and over time you really start to get a fond attachment. The villains have a bit of a range, going from mediocre to superb when you look at Benedict Cumberbatch as Khan. The other two are serviceable but needed more backstory. Eric Bana goes missing for a good chunk of the flick, so when he shows back up, you just kind of go with it. Idris Elba is unrecognizable until late in the game, and the look of him and his crew just isn't that exciting. I will say that Beyond does the best job of the three, making this feel like more of an ensemble picture. You have Bones and Spock doing their buddy road trip. You have Scotty getting a bit more fleshed out, and Chris Pine really seems right at home now as Kirk. The only thing missing in this third installment is the gratuitous bra shot we've come to love and expect. You could learn a thing or two, Justin Lin, from director J.J. Abrams. Take note. Take heed. The first of the bunch had a tough challenge ahead of it. Make the old fans a believer in this new franchise and get the new stupid generation involved too. Not an easy thing to accomplish, but I think they really did nail it. The idea that this is an alternate timeline created by our main villain is a clever twist on things, and I can appreciate all the nods to the original cast that these movies have. However, if I had to fault one thing, it would be that Into Darkness maybe had one too many nods, considering the movie became a glorified remake of Wrath of Khan. Hey, props to J.J. Abrams. He's a master of making a really good remake without calling it one. So Beyond and the first one stand out because the stories are more original and they allow the crew to shine on their own. And shine bright like a diamond they do. That's also a song by hit pop musician Rihanna, who has a new jam on the Beyond soundtrack you can find in the iTunes store or in regular stores now. Damn you, Synergy, and your trailers. It's got it in my head now. I'm not getting paid for that promo. All three Trek films are very character-driven, but I feel like the first one did it best. Into Darkness felt like Spock's movie, while Beyond felt like Kirk's flick. All right, Klon, bring up the cue card for round 3. I just realized your name is Klon. That's oddly similar to Khan. I'm sure that won't play out in any meaningful way coming up. Michael Giacchino does the soundtrack for all three of these flicks, and it's nice having a consistent theme that goes along with us. The new score is terrific, and hearing it at the beginning of every movie is always a treat. His version of the OG theme song is by far the best out there. Beastie Boys gets an odd amount of representation in these movies as well, but if I had to pick one song I love above all others, it would be Rihanna's masterpiece, Sledgehammer, now in stores. The Enterprise looks awesome, and all the other spaceships that show up throughout the movies are pretty slick. Shout out to the makeup design team on all three flicks for giving us some realistic looking aliens. The master of lens flare himself gave us very memorable moments, from the opening with Chris Hemsworth, the skydiving sequence, an intense man cannon launch, the fight between Khan and Spock, the list goes on. There is a noticeable shift. You can tell that there's a new director helming the third movie, but I was okay with that. Justin Lin moves the camera around almost effortlessly. You follow the action as it dips from space to planet to underwater and up again. The thing almost has a mind of its own. As for the motorcycle moment, it overstays its welcome, but thankfully Vin Diesel doesn't show up halfway through with double guns riding a jet ski. That would have been absurd. All right, let's move this on. Set phasers to done. Klon, bring up conclusion. Klon. Klon! Klon! We live in a world where originality seems like a lost art form. Now we're stuck with remakes, reboots, sequels, prequels, etc. So when one of these does come out, it's nice to see love and care put into it. Star Trek and its sequels did good by me and many others. It doesn't forget or ignore its roots. Instead, it doubles down on them, treating these new pictures as sequels set on a new but familiar course. I prefer the first of this new series, and I would love to hear yours. Cast your vote from the link in the description, comment and sub if you would like. And remember, this is more than just reviews. This is Movie Feuds. A lot of people always talk about how they want a Star Trek Star Wars crossover film. I think a Star Trek Guardians of the Galaxy would be better. I mean, just think about it. We could have Zack Snyder direct Star Trek V, Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a dark, gritty film. Jesse Eisenberg's there as an alien who pits them against each other. You know, this is starting to sound like a bad movie pitch idea. I think I'm gonna use this in a future episode.